5 years ago, almost to the week, I was in this park. This is Governor Thompson State Park in northeastern Wisconsin, and I did my first Parks on the Air activation. Well, 400 activations later and over 34,000 contacts. A lot has changed in those last 5 years, and some things have stayed the same. So we're going to take a look back, and I'm going to tell you what I learned over the last 5 years, both good and bad, and help you get on the air and do your own Parks on the Air activation. So stick around. Who'd ever think I'd get to this point? 5 years of going out, setting up, and putting park entities on the air. Previous to that, I had done plenty of field days and portable stations at like scouting events and such. But this seemed different and special, and dare I say exciting. So much so that it compels me to drive along sketchy back roads to find a new park to activate. So you probably have all of the equipment you need to do a Parks on the Air activation. So go do it now. Really, what does it take? A transceiver, antenna, a battery, some paper to log with, or use your mobile device or your computer, whatever works best for you. There's no really any big reason to wait or to assemble a kit. Just go out there and start doing. That's what I did. You know, I had my trusty FT891. I had a manual tuner that I've had forever. Picked up an antenna and a little 12 amp hour battery, and I was on the air. 40 meters on that weekend. Oh boy, that was a different time back then. And made like 50 contacts in an afternoon. It was a real fun time. So it doesn't take a whole lot to get yourself started. Spend your money where it counts. Probably the biggest investment any Parks on the Air activator is going to make is in the rig. There's so many transceivers on the market. You can spend a little, you can spend a lot, and it really depends upon what your needs, wants, and desires are. I'm not going to tell you what rig to purchase, but you can start out very simply with, you know, something like the Zygu G90. You could get the Yaesu FT891. Those are both very capable rigs for the activator, or you can get one of these esoteric QRP radios. It's all up to you, but you don't really have to break the bank. Just about anything that gets you on the air will get you into a park making those contacts. You know, expensive components are overrated. No matter what I do, you know, with a product review, no matter what I say, somebody is going to say in the comments that they can do it for less money. You can get something cheaper than what it is. And that might be the case. Hams are notoriously cheap. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. You know, this is my basic setup here. The quarter wave vertical radiator, simple whip, the Faraday cloth ground plane, just a clamp on a heavy base, you know, all in. This beautiful antenna can get me on any band as it stands, 20 meters and above, for less, you know, about $100. Add that sporty 40 coil and for a few more, and now you got the 40 meter band. So you don't need a lot of money in order to get on the air. Now conversely, don't cheap out either. And one of the things you can really cheap out in is coax. And I'm the kind of person that feels that coax is kind of a consumable product. You know, it's gonna break in the field, it's gonna go bad eventually, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on it, but I'm not gonna buy bargain basement stuff either. So get yourself, you know, good mid-range quality coax. I like brands like ABR, Cable Experts, MPD Digital. You don't have to get the fancy armored and plated or whatever fancy coax at all. Just good quality coax, and know that eventually it's going to have to be replaced at some point down the road. So this is probably my biggest peeve. If I demo an antenna, in the comments, someone is going to tell you how inefficient it is. You shouldn't use it and instead use something totally different. They're missing the whole point. In portable operations, you aren't out there to deploy the most efficient antenna, but to use the most effective antenna. An effective antenna is one that makes contacts. Does it matter if you make 10 or 100 contacts? Not really. What matters is that you're using an antenna that meets your objectives, works in the location you're at, and gets you on the air. So don't feel that the antenna has to be perfect. It just has to get the job done. There will never be enough antennas because antennas are tools, no more and no less. There's a myriad of styles and types of antennas because no one single antenna is right for every purpose. Now I like to carry 2 or 3 styles of antennas with me, but at least one is a vertical antenna and the other is a wire. I'll pick an antenna for a park activation based on the location, the time available, bands I wish to operate on, and the propagation forecast. Once you get a few activations under your belt, picking the right antenna for the situation will really become much easier. Don't trust the propagation forecast, because if I let the propagation forecast determine if I was going to go out and do a park, I would probably never leave the house. Knowing what the sun is up to is a good thing. It will give you clues on what bands to focus on and what to expect your signal to do, but it's not the be-all and the end-all. Take the numbers with a grain of salt, because even if everyone says the bands are dead, I can guarantee you that somewhere there is activity. You just need to know how to look for it. Let's talk about pileups, because the mantra of Parks on the Air is your activation, your rules. You can decide how fast or slow to operate. You pick the band, the frequency, and the mode. You choose how long to be in the park and on the air. 10 contacts, 100 contacts. You know, it's totally up to you. With that said, if you spend any amount of time on the air, you eventually encounter a pileup. Pileups can be exhilarating or terrifying, but don't let them scare you. But also, don't let them take control. Ask people to slow down in giving their calls, pick around the edges, even ask for a repeat. There are so many ways to manage a pileup. You know, my advice to anyone having troubles is to develop a routine and to stay consistent with it. If you keep your pattern consistent, the hunters are going to know what to expect. And with consistency, all of those other people will drop in line. And really, it'll make your whole job easier. Now, after everything I've shared with you in this video, I think the most important thing is to be yourself. It's your activation, it's your experience. Get comfortable and just be yourself. That naturalness will spill over onto the air. If you like to chat it up, chat it up. If you want to be all business, be all business. You know, what I've found as the number 1 thing to just kind of evoke a positive attitude over the air is to smile while you're activating. It's crazy, but it's totally true. If you got a smile on your face, you're happy, and the people on the other end of the microphone are going to be happy too. And it just creates a more friendly environment. And with that said, you know, you're not going to make everyone happy. Yeah, you're going to run into blowhards, malcontents, bitter people on the air. That's almost expected. You can't let them get you down, though. If they want to live their life angry, well, that's on them, not on you. You got a tuner upper, that's easy to fix. Just hit that auto notch filter on your rig and they totally disappear. Someone doesn't like POTA, well, ignore them. You know, they are looking for engagement, and if you don't take the bait, they're going to give up on that. Finally, POTA isn't a contest. Just enjoy the ride. You know, there might be a leaderboard, but the only person you're competing with is yourself. You set the goals, you create the objectives. My advice for anyone getting started with Parks on the Air is to just relax. Wasp. Now, my advice for anyone getting started with Parks on the Air is just to relax and to enjoy the ride. It's going to feel foreign and unusual at first. You're going to be frustrated because things aren't coming together. Lord knows I've had those same experiences with the frustration and things not working, and it's challenging. But you know what? The comfort comes with experience, and experience comes from repetition. So get out there, you make some noise, and most of all, just have fun. So thanks for letting me share, what I've learned these last 5 years as being a Parks on the Air activator. Yeah, I really can't believe it. October 26, 2019, in this park, Governor Thompson State Park, was my first Parks on the Air activation. And 5 years later, almost to the week, we're October 20th, 2024. Back here in the same park, celebrating. It's been quite a ride. Over 400 activations, 34,000 contacts, 130 parks I've activated. I'm not the top, but every one of those has been fun, and I enjoyed getting out there so many times. And I think that's the draw of Parks on the Air to me and to a lot of people. And what Parks on the Air has done, and I know this personally, and I know countless other people have told me that, it has re-energized them. It's got them excited about ham radio, because you do everything else, and it gets boring after a time and people drop away. But now came POTA, and this is an activity. You can go out and you can have fun in different places, and you can get on the air and make contacts, and it's a blast. And it's one of the, I think, is one of the biggest shot in the arm to amateur radio, to really just reinvigorate it. And it's so great to be a part of that Parks on the Air experience. Oh, crazy dogs. So thanks for letting me share my story with you. If you like this video, I don't know, like, subscribe, something or that. But I think what's more important is to leave a comment. Let me know what you like about Parks on the Air. Please share that with me. But for now, I'm going to go back inside this trailer. I got to make 60 more contacts in this park, and then I will have my kilo at Governor Thompson State Park. So thanks for joining me. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. You have a great day, and 7-3.